In the year 2000, Netflix was desperate. The company had only been around a few years, and already it was running out of money. DVD rentals by mail sounded interesting. But the business wasn't working. Revenue was weak, costs were rising, and investors were losing confidence. At one point, Netflix tried to sell itself for $50 million. The company it approached said no. Today, Netflix is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. So what changed? One decision. A decision so radical that it completely transformed the future of entertainment. Netflix was founded in 1997 by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph. The original idea was straightforward: rent DVDs online. Customers would visit the website, choose movies, and Netflix would mail the DVDs directly to their homes. When they finished watching, they mailed them back. At the time, this felt innovative. Traditional rental stores required customers to drive to a location, browse shelves, and return the movie before the due date. Netflix offered convenience. But convenience alone wasn't enough to dominate the industry, because one company already controlled the market. At the time, the king of home entertainment was Blockbuster. Blockbuster had thousands of stores across the United States. On Friday nights, families would walk through aisles of movie shelves. The company generated billions of dollars each year. Netflix, by comparison, was tiny. Blockbuster had physical dominance. Netflix had a website and a mailing system. From a business perspective, it looked like an impossible competition. In its early years, Netflix faced serious problems. Shipping DVDs cost money. Customers sometimes forgot to return them. And the biggest issue of all, late fees. Traditional rental stores made huge profits from late fees. Netflix initially followed the same model, but customers hated it. Late fees created frustration and resentment. And the company realized something important. The rental industry was built around punishing customers. Netflix wanted the opposite. In 1999, Netflix introduced a bold idea. Instead of charging per rental, customers could pay a monthly subscription. With that subscription, they could rent multiple DVDs with no due dates and no late fees. At the time, this was a radical shift. It completely changed the relationship between the company and the customer. Instead of worrying about penalties, customers could relax. They could keep movies as long as they wanted, and this created loyalty. But even with the subscription model, Netflix was still small, and Blockbuster still dominated the market. In 2000, Netflix approached Blockbuster with a proposal. The idea was simple. Blockbuster would buy Netflix for $50 million. Netflix would run Blockbuster's online rental system. Blockbuster executives listened, and then rejected the offer. They believed Netflix was insignificant. For Netflix, the rejection was painful, but it forced the company to focus on survival. In the mid-2000s, the internet was improving rapidly. Faster connections, more bandwidth, better technology. And inside Netflix, one idea started gaining attention. What if movies didn't need to be shipped at all? What if customers could watch instantly? This idea became the most important strategic decision in the company's history. Netflix decided to invest heavily in streaming technology. At the time, it was extremely risky. Internet speeds were inconsistent, studios were skeptical, and customers were still comfortable with DVDs. But Netflix saw the future. Streaming required a complete transformation of the business. Netflix had to build new infrastructure. It had to negotiate digital licensing deals. And it had to shift its identity from a DVD company to a technology platform. If streaming failed, Netflix would collapse. But if it succeeded, the company could bypass physical media entirely. This was not a small adjustment. It was a bet on the future of entertainment. At the time, many experts doubted streaming. They believed internet bandwidth wasn't ready. They believed customers preferred physical media. And most importantly, the largest entertainment companies weren't interested in digital distribution. Ironically, This skepticism gave Netflix time to build its system. While others hesitated, Netflix invested. And slowly, the technology improved. In 2007, Netflix officially launched streaming. At first, the library was small, but the convenience was powerful. Customers could press play instantly. No shipping, no waiting, no returns. This changed expectations forever. Once people experienced instant access, the old model felt outdated. Streaming solved one problem, but it created another. Netflix depended on studios for content. If those studios decided to launch their own platforms, Netflix could lose its catalog. So the company made another strategic decision. It began producing original content. Shows like House of Cards proved that Netflix could compete with traditional studios. And once Netflix owned its content, it controlled its future. While Netflix evolved, Blockbuster stayed focused on physical stores. By the time Blockbuster tried to build its own streaming platform, it was too late. The company filed for bankruptcy in 2010. The industry leader had disappeared. And the company it once dismissed for $50 million was now reshaping global entertainment. Netflix's story reveals three powerful business lessons. First, industries rarely collapse overnight. They collapse when new technology changes consumer behavior. Second, timing matters. Netflix didn't wait until streaming was perfect. It invested early. And third, the companies willing to reinvent themselves are the ones that survive. Netflix started as a small DVD rental service. It faced powerful competitors, financial uncertainty, and constant skepticism. But one strategic decision changed everything. The decision to abandon the past and build the future. Today, streaming defines how the world watches entertainment. And it all began with the decision that saved Netflix from collapse.